Hi, so the code starts with creating a class. So the class name is grab. So inside the class we have a private integer named vertex, which is responsible for storing the number of vertices in the graph. Next is a private linked list named list, which will represents as the adjacency list for the graph. Next is the constructor of the graph class. So the graph constructor initializes the number of vertices and creates an adjacency list to store the list of edges between nodes. So here in the for loops, as this for loop iterates through each vertex, it will initialize the empty linked list for each node uh, to represent the adjacency list. So next is add new edge method. So by its name, basically it will add a new edge between vertices. So these vertices are the values of v and w. So another, inside the method, the adj list with the parameter v dot add the parameter w. So this will add vertex w to the adjacent list of vertex v. This indicates an undirected edge between v and w. The next is a method named Traversal bfs. So it has a parameter of integer r node. So this method performs the breadth first transversal starting from the root node, which is the r node. So inside it is a boolean array named visited node. So this array will basically just track all the visited nodes and it will mark the nodes. Next is declaring another linked list named vnode list. So this linked list will store the visited nodes. So basically using the visited node array, this one will mark down all the visited or track all the visited nodes, and this one will record those visited nodes. So all the those visited nodes will be stored here in v node list linked list. Next is the initialization of the visited node. So it is initialized into a true value. So this marks the since its parameter is the variable r node, then it marks the root node as true. So it means that it will mark the root node as visited node. The next is uh, the calling of the linked list vnode list to add a new node. So here it adds a new node to the starting point of the traversal. So it will add a new node to the it will add a value to the root node or the starting point of the traversal. Next is a while loop. So this while loop with the parameter vnode list that size is not equal to 0, then it will perform all the statements inside. So here the first one is the initialization of the r node to the value that is being pulled. Basically, while the loop executes until the vnode list becomes empty, it retrieves a node from the vnode list using the vnode list pool, and then it will print out the value of the node and then iterates through each adjacent node that hasn't been visited, and then it will mark them as visited and will add it to the visited nodes list. Next, so here is initialization of a variable so iterator variable I. So basically this creates an iterator that will iterate over the used to iterate over the linked list, which in which the adjacent lists are being stored. Then it will also allow the traversal through the adjacent nodes of the r node. So next is a while loop. So uh, this while loop has a parameter I that has hash next. So basically the loop will continue as long as there are elements remaining in the adjacency list. So it will iterate through the list as long as it has an element inside it, then it will continue looping. So next is inside the loop there is a declaration of a variable, integer variable named n. So this is being initialized to fetch or to get the next element from the adjacency list of the root node or the r node, and then assign it to the n variable. So this represents the next adjacency node that is connected to the current node or the r node. Next is if statement. So this if statement checks if the adjacent node or the value of n is being visited before. So this condition ensures that only visited and only unvisited nodes are processed during the traversal. So it will check if the value of n is visited or unvisited. The next is the visit node array with a parameter of n is set to the value of true. So this marks that the adjacent node, which is n, is visited to keep track of the visited nodes during the traversal. So next is calling again the vnode list linked list to add a new value, which is basically to add a new value that is marked as unvisited node, which is the n, to the vnode list. And so it's just to ensure that it will be processed during the iteration or the transversal of the loop. So here in the main method, so first we create a graph. Next to that, in the graph we will add a new edge. So those edge has two vertices, which is 2 and 5. Next is we add another new edge with the vertices 3 and 5. Add another edge with the vertices 1 and 2, and then 2 and 4, 4 and 1, 6 and 2, 5 and 6, 1 and 6, 6 and 3, 3 and 1, 7 and 3, 3 and 7, and 7 and 5. Next is using the transversal BFS method. We will transverse, or like we will initiate the breadth first traversal. So here the value is 2, so it means that we will start from the node 2 or the vertex 2. So then the process will start. It will traverse starting from 2 up to the last, which is 5. So let's try to run the code to see the output traversing using breadth first. So here, as you can see, we have our output here. Starts from 2 and then ends to 7, since the other values are repeating and the last value is 7. So that's it, and thank you for listening.